Welcome to a short presentation on GeoPoser. This presentation will guide you through the basics of using the system. First, let's zoom into an area of interest. To do so, I can use the middle mouse wheel to zoom in and out, or I can use the Zoom into Map tool from the toolbar to draw out an area of interest. At this point, I would like to change my base map. To do so, I will hit the Preference button next to the map type, and as you can see, I can easily select what base map I would like to use. In this case, I would like to show the streets. Or perhaps I'll go for a hybrid look. Now let's create a recording. To do so, simply click the record button on the toolbar and navigate the scene as usual. When you're finished, click the record button again. To play the animation back, select the timeline button on the toolbar and click play timeline. Now let's go into 3D mode. To do so, click the map type button on the toolbar and select Google Earth 3D. While it's loading, note that recordings can happen in any mode and play back in any mode. To demonstrate this, here is that 2D animation played back in 3D. Now let's turn on some 3D buildings by clicking on the Map Preference button, and Google Earth Show Buildings Preference we're going to set to True. As you can see, our scene is now populated with buildings. Now let's add some models to the scene. I'm going to zoom into this area over here which looks like it can use some trees. Go to the Plugins menu, select Models, and the default dropper for the models is point placement, so I'm going to just go ahead and double click. Now a model gets dropped down, but it may not be the model that we're looking for, so we can go in here and customize which model that we want to use. For this one, I'm going to use the tall trees. Now this tall tree is obviously very short, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to the scale and we're going to scale it up a bit. And there we go. We have a nice looking tree in our scene. Now suppose I want to drop down lots of these little trees at the current scale. I'm going to go set the defaults to be the tall tree with a scale of 10. And now I can just go through the scene and double click to add various different tree models around. Now I want to animate a car model moving throughout the scene. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select that car model. Then I'm going to click the animate line tool. Now I'm just going to roughly draw out that animation that I want the car to move along. Double click to finish the animation. Of course the truck is really big at this point, so let's go in there and make it really small. Now I'm going to bring up the animation tool just so that I can get rid of the navigation that we already animated. To do so, I can go in here and remove all keyframes from the navigation section. Now if I play this animation, the car should move along the path. As you can see, even though we made the car small, it's recorded at each keyframe that the car size should be a scale of 10. So what we can do is, for this timeline in general, we go in there and we're going to set equal all the scales of this timeline to be the small scale, so that the car will now be small whenever it moves along that animation. Now that we have our car animation in place, I want to follow the car with the navigation. So I'm going to go back to the initial starting point. I just want to fly to the model and For the navigation, I wanted to start off at this viewing angle, so I'm going to go to the navigation. We previously cleared it of all keyframes, and I'm going to add the first keyframe by hitting the plus button. Now I'm going to move that car along its flight path, and I'm going to set my navigation to where I want to be looking at that model at the given time. Then I'm going to grab a keyframe. Now if I move back and forth, you can see that the navigation smoothly interpolates between the first and second positions that I now selected. So I'm going to advance it a little bit more and grab a new keyframe at a new position along that car, and as you can see, we now have a new keyframe that's following that car. I'm going to do one more, move the car along again, kind of give it a top-down view, grab a keyframe, let's move the car along a little bit again. Grab another keyframe. And now to finish it off, I'm going to zoom extremely close to that car model. Grab a keyframe. Now as you can see, we're now following that model. Now that our basic animation is complete, I want to add some background music to the scene. So I'm going to go to the plugins menu, select background music, and I'm going to use a preset background music that is available, although you can use your own MP3s if you have any on hand. Now for the background music, I want it to fade in and fade out as the animation starts and stops. So I'm going to go to one of the preset functions for background music and use fade in, fade out. So as you can see, as I move along the timeline, the background music will fade in and it will fade out as the timeline finishes. Now before I publish this model, I want to be able to show lots of little animated trucks moving along the scene. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the animated trucks timeline, and I want to be able to clone that model a certain amount of times. In this case, I'm going to choose give me 10 models and space them 1 second apart. So as I hit OK, you notice that there are a lot more models added to my timeline. And as you can see, if you look at the animation, the models are now moving right behind each other at a 1 second time difference. Now that we're done with the animation process, we want to be able to publish this so that everybody on the internet can view it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the starting frame to be the very first frame, and then I'm going to hit the publish button. Now the publisher comes up, and as you can see, you can customize various different aspects of your animations. In this case, I want it to play automatically after 5 seconds. So once we're done, we just grab the HTML and paste it onto our blog or website, and that is it.